morning or afternoon, Kansas State University, and welcome back into the studios of Wildcat 91.9 for the SGA Weekly update on Wildcat 91.9. You belong. My name is Jimmy Kaufman, your host with the most, and today's gonna be a really special episode, guys. I'm feeling very excited, a little bit patriotic today, I think would be the word, because we have some special people joining us for this episode of the SGA Weekly Update. All right, we're not just getting, we're everyone's important on the SGA, but we're getting the very top of the chain, the new leaders in command, the leaders of the free campus, not the free world, but the free campus. Please welcome to the stage our Vice President, Caden Bastian, and our President, Christian Pena. Welcome to the show, both of you.
How's it going?
It's a this is insane. It's wonderful to have you guys here. How are you doing today?
Oh, not too bad. We're having a good day so far.
It's
so
good.
far, so good.
Did the intro help? To help get you kind of in the presidential mood?
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
right.
Yeah,
the heart's racing.
We're getting executive today, so let's have some fun. Let's have some fun with it. Very pleased to have you both in here. I am very excited. We're just coming off of the presidential election that was just last month. We're getting about a month away from it at this time. So at this point, the dust has settled. You've gotten a moment to, kind of get your bearings, wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, wow, I really am the president or vice president of K-State's SGA. Very exciting. So I want to now just get into what it means to be president. Christian, I'm going to start with you, Christian Pena. What does being president mean for SGA? What's the day-to-day look like?
To talk to what the day-to-day looks like so far, I can't exactly speak to what all of that's going to entail. But one thing for sure is that we're going to be in a lot of meetings. We're going to be here right beside students, and the whole time that we've been through this whole process is that we're going to be walking right along students. We're taking exams with them. We're sitting in class with them. And so the whole object of what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be visible. We're going to be with you. And our titles, at the end of the day, they don't mean anything to us because we're here to make not just every student here connected, but we're here to make a K-State one. And so we're going to truly speak to the family aspect and what we've done so far. I think that we're hopefully working towards that goal. And I'm really excited for what the day-to-day is going to continue to look like for us. And I'm excited for all the meetings that Caden and I get to be a part of and get to continue to learn more about what's going on and what's happening here at K-State.
So though you may not know the daily operations of what president is looking like right now, you're currently in a lot of meetings. It's just meeting after meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the best, right? Just who are you meeting with? What types of people are you meeting with?
We're meeting with literally everybody. We're talking to people about, obviously our cabinet is coming up, getting ready to select what that's going to be looking like. So we're having meetings with students here who are interested in helping us serve along throughout this next year. But we're also in meetings with Dr. Lane, President Linton, being able to get some more scoop on what the next gen plan looks like, how we're going to be able to grow ourselves over the next year and be able to bring up students and those around us throughout the time as well as some new initiatives and the initiatives that are currently happening here at K-State. And it's a fun conversation to be a part of moving forward, and we're excited to share that with our students here at K-State.
And I'm excited to share it today on the SGA Weekly Update. We're going to get into some of the initiatives and the plans in a moment for the president and the cabinet. But Vice President Caden Bastian, tell me what kind of your role is looking like as of right now as you're setting up the table for next year.
Yeah, so as of right now, just a lot of transition meetings, really. That's the name of the game for Christian and myself, just kind of getting set up, and a lot of the initiatives that Brady and Zoe kind of brought on as well, and some stuff that's going to be rolling over to our administration that we can continue to do and help this university succeed through. One of the main things, at least for my day-to-day, is going to look like Christian said, meetings after meetings, that's for sure, but meeting with admin just on what they want to see. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of our initiatives really fall under the same line. It's just how we approach those two goals is a little bit different. So I think it's really important. One thing that Christian and I really talked about and really ran on was just the communication and transparency aspect. So really just bringing that into these roles is really important for the both of us. As for me, a lot of what I'm going to be doing is just carrying out what we ran on, our platform Rise, which, like you said, we'll kind of get into what that looked like. And just making sure that what we're doing is here for the betterment of the university. And, if that means my day-to-day is sitting in meetings after meetings and making sure that K-State thrives, then that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Boom. Got to get down to brass tacks no matter what that tax looks like. You mentioned a little bit about how you guys have some different plans than what the presidential administration wanted, or maybe you have different ways of accomplishing goals. What does that transition look like, and how do you communicate it all with Brady and Zoe?
Oh yeah, we have had many conversations with Brady and Zoe. We've had conversations with their cabinet as well. Hear about projects that they're working on, because at the end of the day, there's awesome things that they're working on that we also want to be able to carry on forward. And one of them is a research project. To shout out Ilya, I mean, he's got some awesome stuff coming forward, and we're excited for what that's going to look like and how we can hopefully carry on what that work looks like moving forward. And then for us, we have a lot of conversations to sit down and really sketch out what the year's going to look like. And Brady and Zoe have helped us be able to take an inside look as to what they're doing and also how we're going to be able to do what we're going to want to carry out as well.
So when you talk about what you want to carry out, how are things going to look differently when you guys take office compared to what's been happening for the past year?
You want to talk about that one?
Yeah,
away, Caden.
I think ultimately, like we were talking about, there's tons of initiatives that are going on that, some of them are short term, some of them are long term, and those long term goals, a lot of the same things that Brady and Zoe see on campus, we also see as a high need. And so just continuing that, like Christian was saying, but as for like structure wise, it's really going to look a lot of the same. I think that Brady and Zoe did a wonderful job. They've really helped us transition very well into these roles. I know that Christian's meeting weekly with Brady. Zoe and I have met many, many times. I have a phone call with her later today just to tell you how much we talk.
Boom.
But yeah, like our function-wise, we're really going to be operating in the same kind of sphere. Our cabinet's going to be looking a lot of the same because they just did a great job in setting it up and having it spread out just so that every area of campus is covered. No spot is left uncovered. So I think they did a great job this past year, and our function is going to be a lot of the same. Christian and I kind of roll with the same leadership style, so whether that's a good and a bad thing, we'll find out. But I think we work really well together, so I'm excited to see what this next year entails.
As someone watching SGA from maybe not far, but somewhere in the middle, I think it's going pretty well. So I completely understand that. I want to touch back on what you mentioned about focusing on transparency. What does that exactly look like in your roles? How is transparency applied to SGA, I guess physically, when you're getting it out to people?
Yeah, for sure. I think that Caden's probably going to have the best application for what this looks like from his last year within DSIG. But for us, our whole goal is to make sure that whatever's happening with admin, whatever's happening with SGA, whatever's happening with the whole student body, everyone is constantly in the know. There is no chance of them wondering, hey, why did you do this? We weren't briefed on that. We want everyone to know that exactly what's going on within our offices, what's happening within all of the branches. We believe that one of the biggest things that we can highlight throughout our time over the next year is how we can continue to make sure that students are in the know of what's going to come to campus, what's currently happening, and how we're going to continue to make that a better place for future students here.
Yeah, looking more at keeping students in the know. In your guys' opinion, both of you, which out of the 4 W's and the H is the most important to know? The what, who, where, why, how? Which one of those is the most important when it comes to staying transparent?
Yeah, I think the why is that's really what sticks out to me. A little bit about myself, like Christian kind of alluded to. So I'm a member of Delta Sigma Phi. Shout out. I was former president right before this current term, and one thing I always did, whether really people liked it or not, is I always kept them in the know because of my why. If I made a decision and people were wondering, well, why did he decide to do that? They knew exactly what my reasoning was. It was, again, for the betterment of the chapter. And I think that's really important when it comes to sitting in these positions, is letting people know the why. If I make a decision or Christian makes a decision, then the campus knows, here's our why. Here's why we want to do this. Here's what the outcome is in our eyes. Sure, is everything going to be a home run? No. But at the end of the day, if people know that we're doing it for the betterment of the university, we're doing it with students in mind, from students, then that's what matters most to us.
100%. Christian, what about you in that same question?
Yeah, so when I think about the transparency aspect, I have always been someone who, in terms of my leadership abilities, I like to take a step back. I want to be able to hear the full story of everything, and that's exactly how we ran our campaign. That's exactly how we're going to look at our year of service coming up, is that we believe that everything that we're going to be able to do is because that we've heard it from students, and it's because students want to see that coming forward. And so not only are we going to be transparent in the fact that some of the best ideas aren't going to come from Caden and I. They're going to come from our cabinet. They're going to come from other branches. They're going to come from the whole student body. The more that we're able to harp on the fact that it's not about us and it's about you, the impact's going to be felt even more, and the buy-in is going to be much higher as well.
Yeah, when you mention that, I think what's so unique about student government, right, is the fact that you can look at the modern political world, and I don't think it's really a stretch to say that politicians aren't always where the people are nowadays, right? They've got a different payroll, right? They're eating steak no matter what. You guys are students. You pay tuition to go here. You guys are in classes with people. What do you think that type of environment and being around your voters, quote unquote, or the people you serve, how does that help your job day to day?
I think it's really important. Just kind of like you said, we pay tuition here. We take exams right next to you. One big thing that Christian and I talked about through campaigning and through now sitting in the office is, we don't want to look at these roles for the title. Great, it's awesome. Student body president, student body vice president has a nice ring to it. But at the end of the day, what I want to be is a Wildcat, and that's what we all are, right? I'm here to serve campus the same way that campus serves me. And that's what we want to do for all the students here. Is we want to be one unified voice. We don't want decisions being made just from two people. We want decisions being made from every single student here on campus. And a lot of our initiatives kind of tailor that with a lot of in-person representation and a lot of like our You Said We Did initiative, which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit more about what that kind of looks like. But a lot of it's just going to be from student voices. Our whole campaign was ran off of what people wanted to see on campus, and so we're really proud to say that we aren't sitting these roles just because of a title, and that's not what's important to me. What's important to me is that people know that they have a voice and they know how to use that.
I would say, just to add to the fact, is we want perspectives. We want people to disagree with us, because when you disagree with us, we're able to go back to the drawing board and we're able to make something better than if it was just something that we were to bring forward. So how can we compromise and make something better than what it was?
Boom. Yeah, 100%. I completely see that. And I like saying it's not about the title, right? Be truly serving. It doesn't matter what title you are. You do what's required. And you said you want to help students any way that you can. What does that look like for students right now? How can they come to you today and help make a change for tomorrow?
Yes, 100%. One thing that we've been doing and that we're going to be doing moving forward is our offices are in the SPY conference room. Doors are going to be open when we're there. Come in, chat with us. But even right now, our information is out there for you all to contact us. We want to hear you. We want to sit down with you, whatever it is, whether it's an Instagram DM, a text message, or we're going to see you on campus. I think one of the most, full circle moments for me in the last couple of weeks even has been walk across campus and people recognize you and they're like, hey, how are you doing? And then we kind of have a short conversation about what it's been like for them, how we can continue to do what we're doing, etc. And the list goes on and on for what we can do for them. And we believe that if we can continue to push forward that mindset, we're going to be able to not necessarily be an unstoppable force, but be able to be there for our students as much as possible.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think at least for me, I think in-person representation is just huge. You can send me an email. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to read it. You're going to get a response, or a thoughtful one for that matter. But, if we're sitting here face to face and you air out your grievances toward me, that number one shows that you respect me enough to say, hey, this is bothering me and I want to see a change here on campus, which I wholeheartedly love. But you also get a response that's from the heart because I'm sitting here right in front of you. I'm now needing to respond to you. I think what's important for students to know is that, student government isn't a separate body. I wasn't involved in student government before doing this by any capacity. And from what I saw was that there was just a little disconnect. And we want to aim to bridge that disconnect. A lot of the people that we spoke to, one in particular, one of our campaign managers, she told us that when her parents went here in the 90s, there was 10 different campaigns on the student body president ticket, which I think is really neat, and something that was just kind of not haven't quite been there in a little bit. So getting more just involvement in student government, more people just to want and care about it is really important, because I think at the end of the day, student government, it really runs your whole life here at K-State. It does a lot for you.
We say it every week.
That's right.
People do not realize the power of SGA on this campus. They're allocating millions of dollars.
Exactly.
Right? It's really real. Okay, it's really real. That's what I would say. No, but I completely understand that. And face-to-face is always important. You get the emotion of the person, right? I'm not a big texter these days. All right, I'm old-fashioned. I'm old-fashioned personally, but. We've talked about how people can get their voices heard with you guys, how they can help this campus change, maybe by giving some ideas. I want to hear the ideas that are already in talks right now. Let's get into policy, right? You mentioned, Caden, you mentioned RISE just a little bit ago. Tell me about RISE.
Yeah. So RISE, our platform, is represent students, improve campus, serve needs, and empower voices.
Boom. I love a good acronym.
It's great, right?
Acronym.
One thing that we, whenever we sat down and kind of formulated this outlook, is that one of the main things that's ever changing, right? If a student came up to us and they go, we want to see this implemented, we can make that happen. And that's what we want to do for you, because, our initiatives, it's built and made off of the voices of students. We had countless meetings and text messages, emails, whatever the case may be, just to build that platform. And the one interesting thing that Christian and I talked about quite a bit is that if one portion of RISE fails, the rest does, because it all is built off of the voices of students. So, Christian, do you want to get in a little bit more about the nitty-gritty?
Let's get in the weeds.
Yeah. So when we think about empowering voices, one of our big goals is moving forward is that we want to increase some collaboration amongst the 3 branches of SGA. And within that, one of our main goals is to be able to host some sort of monthly or quarterly town hall for each college here on campus. With that goal, that means that we're going to be working with senators, we're going to be working with deans, we're going to be working with admin, however, as much as possible, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of student perspective that are coming, and all of us are here to represent students. And one of the neat facts about us is that SGA here at K-State within Senate, roughly 250 students are represented by every senator, which is one of the lowest for here in the Big 12, which speaks to the fact of that just how much students' voice matters here at K-State. And so that's one of the big things. We've also talked about some coffee chats, how we can sit down with students and meet them where they are. We want to make sure that we're out with students as much as possible. It's easy for us to be maybe cooped up in an office getting some work done, but how can we let's be out in Bosco. Let's have some coffee out there. Come chat with us.
Yeah.
What do you like about us? What do you not like about us? We're open to feedback, because feedback is how we improve what we're doing.
Yeah, I think that's something that colleges here do well as well. I've taken both Spanish courses as well as I'm a philosophy minor, and what both of those places have done well is philosophy. They do a thing called rationality, which great name. Every week you go get tea, you talk to professors. They do the same thing. I want to say with coffee. With the languages department as well, where you can go talk to teachers and stuff in a casual way. I think that's one of the best ways to meet, because everything's easier when you're drinking something while you do it. All right, it's just
right.
watching a K-State game, talking to people. That's why they're mixers, right? They have mixers because you have a little drink and you talk. And not necessarily alcoholic. I'm just saying in general. It's one of the best ways to connect with people, right? There's something about drinking something that just makes it easier. I can't really explain it. I don't know. But I think that's really interesting, having RISE the acronym and having all 4 pillars with, I guess, equal importance when it comes to reaching students. You mentioned a little bit about getting each branch of government to be more collaborative. What does that look like, when you put boots on the ground?
I think this is a question for you.
We're throwing curveballs today.
One thing that we've talked about, and we've talked about with everyone so far, is that we believe that our SGA is fantastic. We're one of the top SGAs within the Big 12, and if not in the nation.
With one of the highest student per senator rates, right? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and so how can we make sure that we're all working together? One thing that I served as a senator beforehand, and I think it's really cool that each branch is kind of its own entity in some sense. But how can we make sure that every branch is staying informed with what's happening within each branch's form of government? But not only that, now we know that our platform isn't possible with just us and our cabinet. Mm-hmm. Our platform is possible by all 3 branches of government working together, but it's also stretching outside of that and going to the students as well. So how can we make sure that we're doing that? And within the branches, we want to make sure that maybe our judicial branch, they're more of an inward-facing role, but we want to make sure that they're out there with us, that we get to carry on some awesome initiatives, some awesome projects, and that every person who gets to serve within SGA this year and coming in gets a chance to make a difference here at K-State and gets to feel the difference and what that's going to look like for them. So, obviously through weekly meetings and different aspects like that, but it's not just about meetings. It's about how we can get along and get together as more of a family, get together as friends. Let's hang out. It doesn't have to always be about work. While, it's probably going to be like that, and I have a horrible work-life balance, how can we improve that and improve that for everybody that is going to be a part of this moving forward?
Yeah. One of the really neat things whenever we talk to a lot of people, for instance, that are running for like Speaker of the Student Senate, one of the things they ask us is how does communication look like with you between branches? And one thing we really harped on was just the fact of collaboration. It's hard for a campus to succeed when, especially people sitting in leadership, can't rally behind one another, and rally behind initiatives. And if someone makes a tough decision, it's really, really important that you have people that are behind your back that are also sitting in those leadership positions that can go out there and say this is a great choice. This is good for K-State. But like Christian was saying, transparency is huge whenever it comes to sitting in our positions, in any really position in student government. If everyone's not in the know, then how can we really benefit? How can we really make a difference if everyone's guessing what we're doing in our office every single day? That's not what we want to do. We want to make it, like Kirsten said, it's an open scheme. Before I was kind of involved in this, I thought the spy office, that you couldn't go in there. I thought it was a separate little world, and that not going to go in there. But come to find out, that's just truly not the case. And although people can see it as just kind of like a separate thing in the union, it's one of those things that we want people to know, that you can always come in and come chat with us. Now that there is an office in there, it's going to get used. We've already talked about how we're going to decorate.
How our moms are going to decorate.
What's the decoration look like? Do we know?
Well, we have a banner.
All we know of right now is we have a banner.
We got a banner. Come on. It's going to be a banner year in the spy office.
Right. And that might just be it. But hey, at least we have a banner.
We tried.
There's one more banner than we had on campus before.
Right.
That's big. And that's awesome. I like the work-life balance thing as well, because my dad is a small business owner, and you know what? Sometimes he has meetings at the other place, or Austin's Bar and Grill, if you know that in Kansas City. He'll go to Taco Lucha if it was there, stuff like that. And sometimes that's where the best business gets done. You go share an appetizer, you go talk business, and then all of a sudden, whole new ideas. A good appetizer can change the entire outlook of SGA, right?
And a good drink too.
And a good drink at the mixer. Come on, it's all about, you got to consume something while you're talking. I promise. It gets the brain working. I think it's really interesting, to keep things collaborative and transparent. Sounds like the big two. Mm-hmm. And in the vein of that, you guys are currently having, a cabinet search, trying to fill out the rest of your cabinet right now, yes?
Yeah.
How is that going so far? And if anyone is interested in being a part of this push for transparency and a collaboration, how can they be a part of the job if they would like to apply?
Love it.
Oh, yeah. Hop on the Instagram. There's a link there on one of the most recent posts regarding our Chief of Staff application and our cabinet. Also, hop on the SGA website, and you can get in them there via Org Central. And we'd love for you to apply. We'd love for you to reach out, come and have a talk with us. Mm-hmm. We're open. We want to make sure that we've cleared as much of our schedules as possible to be able to sit down with you and be open. So if you have any questions about cabinet, you have questions on if it's for you or not, the worst that could ever happen is that you don't apply. And we believe that there's a lot of work in coming and applying, because you never know what that may lead to.
Yeah. What I'm excited about is just when getting on like the cabinet search, that we have people that are just really passionate about the university, and they really want to see it grow and succeed. Like I said, I wasn't involved in student government, so seeing a lot of people here on campus having that same kind of vision for the university, and having that same kind of outlook of, hey, we see your guys' platform, we can see how it's applicable on campus, and we also can see some areas that maybe we hadn't thought about that can really benefit this school. I think it's really, really important. I'm super excited for it. And like Christian said, if you're at all interested, you can also just reach out to us. Happy to sit down. Applications are still open, so love for anyone to get on there and apply.
Applications are still open. I can promise you right now, if you're listening to this as a freshman, maybe a newcomer to Kansas State, the best thing you can do is get involved. It's the best thing you can do. No matter where it is, if cabinet's your place, that's great. If Wildcat 91.9 is your place, that's also great. We never say no. So, but either way, I love what I'm hearing so far. Transparency, collaboration, and there's a spot for everyone. Not only on this campus, but in SGA. And there's a spot for more talking when we return. We're going to be talking a little bit more about the people sitting in front of me. Caden Bastian, Christian Pena. How did they come to SGA? How did they come to K-State? What do they love about it? We're going to be learning about all of that and more when we return on the SGA Weekly Update on Wildcat 91.9, where you belong.
Passionate about filmmaking? Want to win cash prizes and have fun with friends? Participate in the K-State 48 Film Challenge. Create a 2 to 6 minute short film with 3 required elements given on site. Kickoff event is Friday, March 27th, and final videos are due Sunday, March 29th. The top 3 teams will win cash prizes and have their videos shown at a red carpet premiere on Friday, April 3rd. Are you up for the challenge?
Books close, beats aligned. Take a study break with Wildcat 91.9. You belong.
Sports fans, your listening ears just found a new home on Thursdays. Join me, Nate Lowen, for The Dub, your 1-hour sports talk show where hot takes, bold predictions, and real conversations happen. From the biggest games to the week's wildest headlines, I'll bring you the energy you need. Don't miss The Dub every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m., only on Wildcat 91.9, where you belong.
We can't promise you'll find a parking spot on campus,
Yeah, no kidding. I've been stalking this guy since he left the Union.
but we can promise to keep playing music until you do.
Move it or lose it, buddy. I saw that spot first.
You're listening to Wildcat 91.9, You Belong.
Ready to spark your curiosity and explore arts and culture? This year, the Mariana Kistler Beach Museum of Art is celebrating its 30th anniversary. For 3 decades, it has been Manhattan's free-for-all art museum and the only major museum devoted to the art of Kansas in our region. Best of all, admission is always free, along with your parking. Join the celebration and explore what has made the Beach Museum of Art your free art museum for 30 years. Learn more at beach.k-state.edu. And thank you for the Mariana Kistler Beach Museum of Art for supporting the Wildcat 919. You belong.
From dusk to dawn, don't be afraid to sing along. This is Wildcat 91.9, where you belong.
K-State students, are you ready to take control of your finances? Meet with a PowerCat financial counselor today. Whether you need help crafting a budget, understanding credit, or comparing job offers, we've got you covered. We're available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Visit us at the K-State Student Union, Hale Library, Cats Cupboard, if you're a vet med student at Trotter Hall, or Veneer for student athletes. Set up your appointment on Navigate or email finplan@ksu.edu with any questions. PowerCat Financial, your partner in financial success.
We're hanging out. We're keeping it cool for school. On Wildcat 91.9, you belong. Welcome back to the SGA Weekly Update. My name is Jimmy Kaufman, your host with the most. I'm joined by the president and vice president of the Student Governing Association, Christian Pena, and Caden Bastion. First segment in, guys. How are we feeling? We're chilling.
Feeling great.
You know,
good.
I mean, at this point, hey, we're staying out of the heat. That's all that matters.
That's right.
That's all
Yes.
that matters. You know
That
what I
is
mean?
all
We're
that matters.
we're sitting here. We're trying to figure out how Las Vegas got an NBA team before Kansas City. It's all good, man. It's a good time. We're having fun. But seriously though, every Raiders game is filled with Chiefs jerseys. You'd think they'd think wiser, but
You would think.
but I digress. I digress. If so, it's been officially announced Las Vegas and Seattle are getting NBA teams. If you had to pick, which team would you choose? Like if you're in the expansion draft and you're like, which team would I go to? Seattle or Las Vegas?
I'm going to go to Las Vegas.
Really?
Such a loyal fan base. Let's just think about that.
Such a loyal,
that
every
right?
other fan base, every other loyal fan base comes in. What about you?
You
Caden?
know, I would probably have to do the latter. I'll go to Seattle.
Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin Durant started in
That's
Seattle.
right, that's
People
right.
forget that he was one of the players in the Thunder transition.
Exactly.
This is important. This is important knowledge. So, anywho, we're not here to talk about that. This is the SGA Weekly Update, not the NBA Weekly Update. So, we've talked a lot about brass tacks, what's to be expected for this next year, what you guys want to get done, the value of transparency, collaboration, RISE the acronym. And how Rise can help voices rise. Come on, you can keep that, put that in your back pocket. And how you need something. Mixers are great because you need to drink something while you talk. But I want to learn about the people behind, behind the scenes right now. How you guys came to this position. Caden, I'll start with you.
Okay.
As a guy who was not involved with SGA until you went right to the top, right? You went right to VP. How did you first get started at Kansas State?
Sure. Yeah. Great question. So, a little bit of my background. Actually, none of my family really went here. I had a cousin that went here, so that's exciting.
So you're first cat in your family.
Yeah. No. On my dad's side, no, my whole family all went actually to Emporia State. That's where they're all graduated
Stingers
from.
up?
They're through and through. So
Are
yeah.
they teachers?
They actually, yes, they are.
Come on. I was looking at schools as to be a teacher.
Yeah.
When I first, back in high school, I went left on that. But I was looking at Emporia State's got one of the best education programs.
Yeah, no, it truly is the teacher's college. That's for sure. So almost my entire family graduated from there. So whenever I was looking into schools, I just wanted something a little bit different. And, I kind of tell this story to some people. Whenever I toured this university, one thing I saw was, everyone's in purple. Everyone has a power cat on. Everyone's so proud of just the Wildcats. And not only just the university, but whenever you drive around Manhattan, number one thing I love most is every single house has a K-State flag hanging up outside, has some sort of Wildcat representation. That's what I really love. That's something you don't find really anywhere else.
Something I say all the time. My favorite thing, because Lawrence doesn't have this.
Absolutely not.
But what Manhattan does is the moment you hit the bridge, simultaneously as you see "Welcome to Manhattan," that sign, right above the bridge are Power Cat banners.
That's right.
Lining the whole thing. It's the moment you enter in. It's town and gown. It's all of it with K-State. I think that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And that was also a draw to me. Continue.
Yeah. Well, after I toured, I remember I actually went to Canes with my mom. And
good choice.
Great choice. Now, I'm from Wichita, so we just got one as of a year ago.
Congratulations.
So, I know it's taking too much of my money. But as soon as we were sitting down, I told her, I was like, Mom, I want to go to K-State. So this was actually the only school I applied to. And so, my first semester moved into Marlatt Hall. Shout out. And then, I ended up going into my fraternity that I'm in now. But, looking back just on that decision I made 2.5 years ago, I never would have thought I would have been sitting here on the SGA Weekly update. That's right. But it's really impactful. It says a lot about this university and how well it is just to get in here. And there's a spot for everybody. Like we've been saying, a spot for every single person. There's over 400 organizations here, so really getting in and finding something for you, because there is always a spot for anyone here. So it's the part I love most about this place. So yeah,
100%. Did you tour anywhere else when you were looking at colleges?
No, this was it.
Boom.
Yeah.
Hey, when you know, you know.
You know.
As a house divided family, KU, K-State, I went to both with the respective alumni, right? So I went to K-State with Dad, KU with Mom. And even my mom was like, yeah, that KU tour was not it. It was 8. And that's just how, K-State, they know how to sell. They're good salesmen out here, which is a testament to a good sales program.
That's right.
Christian, you're also wearing purple here, and you are the president. How did you come to be, before you even joined SGA, how did you come to be a K-State Wildcat?
Yeah, so I remember I was young, coming to the Bill with my family and hanging out. My older sister actually came here to K-State, and so I kind of got to, there's quite an age gap there, so I lived through her to a certain extent. But I remember I toured a couple other places, never applied. This was the only school that I ended up applying to. I came, toured, and like Caden, I was like, this is where I belong.
Boom.
I went on my tour, immediately was met by familiar faces that I knew, and I was like, yep, this is where I'm going to come. And I do not regret that decision one bit. And that's what has made my experience here just so phenomenal. And I think that there's a ton of other students that would say the same about what Caden and I have just said, is that what is cultivated here, what is sold here at K-State when you visit, that is what we're all about. And there's no other way about it.
Are you a native Kansan?
I am a native Kansan.
Where from?
Sublette.
Oh, let's go, Sublette. Stand up.
There we go.
Sublette, Kansas, stand up. No, that's all. You said you mentioned you toured a couple of other schools. Where else did you look?
I looked at Seward County Community College and Liberal, and I looked at Garden City Community College and Garden. My goal was that I was going to stay at home for a couple of years and work in all of my free time. And as soon as I toured both, I was like, this is not my vibe at all. I think that I need to go and try something new, and I do not regret it one bit. And this has probably been one of the most rewarding experiences just being here at K-State.
Oh, it's so fun. It's a blast. Were you guys here for the 2022-23 year? Like that academic year? That was my freshman year.
Yeah, no, I was a senior in high school.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, just call me Unk to my face then. Okay, cool. Here we go, AARP host. No, but that year, I kind of got what you were saying, Christian, where it's the most fun experience because we won the Big 12, went to the Elite 8. Mm-hmm. That moment, I'm like, I'm never leaving. Are you kidding me? I was like, I'll just be here forever.
That's right.
I was like, why not? That was a blast. But that is the feel. The moment you come to K-State, it's kind of one of those you just kind of know right away. Like some people come, they end up not fully applying or signing on. But I feel like when you know, and I think it's just so easy to get wrapped up into Manhattan and K-State and the charm that's here, because it's like palpable everywhere you go. And I love seeing everyone in purple. And I love, Christian, you mentioned seeing a lot of familiar faces when you came. Was there anything that like about your tour that immediately sold you? Like, what was the thing?
I would say the thing was, it wasn't like it was an organized type of deal either. I remember it was just like, I got lucky that I was walking to Waters Hall for my College of Ag tour, and I saw a state officer that I knew. It was like, hey, congrats, go Cats. And it's like, and it's never been anything different. Like, we still walk campus every single day. You still see people that you know. You still say hi. You still say go Cats. Even if you're in Manhattan, that's Kate and I talk about this, wherever you're at in the nation, wherever you're at in the world, you're going to find a K-Stater.
My parents always say K-State is a family. I've had my dad as an alumni has helped out random other people because they were K-Staters. You see someone with a K-State license plate pulled over, you're like, hey, hold on, Ema, what's going on here? Hey, you okay? You need a jump or something? We do that for everybody, but it's always an extra little fist bump for if you're Ema. But cool. So you guys come to K-State. You find it's your spot. Christian, I'll start with you this time. What then got you into SGA? Past that.
Yeah, I would say I remember freshman year, I was state officer. That was my life, and I enjoyed the heck out of that. That was so much fun. I enjoyed it. I got a lot of great experiences. But I remember watching Paige and Jack campaign, and I was like, man, this is so cool. I remember seeing their chalk. I followed their Instagram page. Like, I just was fully engrossed in what they were doing, and I thought it was so cool. Paige being from Scott City and just being from the area that I was from, that was something that spoke to me a lot. It's like, hey, there is a chance that I could get out there and do the same thing. And then also, I remember coming around that year and meeting Jack and getting to know him a little bit more, and we sat down, and he was like, if you're interested in this stuff, why don't you just try running for a Senate seat? And that's exactly what I did. I got involved in the Senate. I tried applying for cabinet. It didn't end up working out, which was fine because what I learned in Senate is ultimately what propelled me to be here today. And it's the people that I got to meet throughout Senate and that time there that has changed not just the way that, I've always looked at K-State in a positive manner, but it's so much cooler to look at it from that perspective of just how much students matter here at K-State and how much that we get to contribute to what changes here at Kansas State.
Right, when you really see how the sausage is made, as long as it's ethical, you really grow an appreciation for it, and I think that is something interesting. Caden, you're new into SGA,
Yes.
so what was it that you're like, let's go for it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So, like I said, I joined my fraternity. I kind of took an untraditional route into Greek life. So I was in the dorms my first semester, loved it. I lived with a good buddy of mine. He ended up transferring, which is too bad. But I ended up joining my fraternity. And in spring of 2024, that's whenever I joined. So I ended up becoming president that later fall, December of 2024. So within a year, I was president of my fraternity, which was fun.
You have a habit of going right to the top. Holy.
But, one thing, I had a lot of older guys that I still am very near and dear with that would always ask me, they go, when are you running for student body? And I was like, yeah, right. Like, that sounds cool and all, but I'm not doing that. Same thing. I had about 3 or 4 of my close friends say the same thing of when you run for student body. And it was actually last fall whenever I had a good friend of mine named Jacob Lippy, shout out. He we're sitting down in our dining hall and he goes, you should really think about running for student body. And I go, I don't know. And about a week later, that's whenever Christian texted me and asked to sit down. So, it was like we sat down and I thought to myself and I go, you know what, why not? This is something that is really interesting to me, especially just having conversations with a lot of people that are in SGA of, function-wise, how does it really operate? And kind of what I was saying earlier about how it is super interesting if you just take the time to really look into it. And even so, just if you don't want to look into it at all, just knowing that like student government really can dictate what your 4 years looks like here at K-State. So I saw that and I thought that was really neat and I really wanted to be a part of that. So whenever I sat down with Christian, it was a pretty quick decision. I think I told him, I said, give me about a day and a half and I'll let you know. And I think I let him know about 2 hours later. So
mind you, I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going.
And Christian, how did that come to be where you're like, I got to go hit up Caden? He'd never been in SGA, right? You're surrounded by student government, but you're like,
it was
I'm
a
going
bold
ahead.
move.
What made that move for you?
Well, I remember I had spent a couple weeks. I was like, man, who can I do? People just kept saying no. And from the very get-go, my girlfriend was like, you got to reach out to him. You got to reach out to him. And finally, I was like, all right, I'll do it. Like, I don't know. I was like, he doesn't know me. I don't know him. And shot in the dark. We met 2 hours later. We're running, and we're here today, and it's been a fun ride. And I consider Caden one of my closest friends now. I mean, we spent a lot of time together. We were very professional, but we also know how to have a great time.
That is very true.
Yeah, you guys end up, at this point being running mates. What did that campaign look like, and how fun was that process?
Yeah, that was something that it was definitely one of the most stressful times of my college career, which I would be lying if I said it wasn't, but it was also just easily one of the most beneficial and fun times. And I say that because, we kind of started later in the game. We met in December, and campaigning started January 20th. So It was a pretty quick little turnaround to kind of get our platform and our team especially together, and also just the buy-in from the people around us. So whenever we kind of got the ball rolling come January 20th, it was a lot of, what can we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? There was always something to do. There's always people to meet with. There's always chalk to be chalked. And so, funny story about that. I mean, whenever we'd go chalk, the next day I'd wake up and I go, I really need to start working out my legs a lot more, because my legs would just be super sore. And I go, all I'm doing is just squatting. So,
chalking is an art.
It is an art.
It's an art and a workout.
Yeah.
Okay, it's practically a sport.
No, it is, because throughout that time we were like, man, we are not creative at all.
No.
But I will say we found some of the most creative people who you would never think
true.
so to do some awesome chalk.
Yeah.
Really?
And chalking was probably some of the most fun moments.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question, was what is the best part about campaigning? Is it the chalking and just having fun and getting creative?
Yeah, that is definitely up there for me. That was, a lot of times it'd be freezing outside, and we still have our little group together, just to be like, you know what, let's just bear the weather and go. I would say one of the most exciting things for me was actually at the end. So it was whenever they were announcing the day of, Christian and I went and got lunch at Taco Lucha, and we were sitting down, and one thing that we said is like, I'm on the phone with my parents, like, just throughout this time, and they asked me, they go, how you feeling? I go, I'm nervous, but I'm also excited, and I don't know if that's because I don't know if I did enough or because I'm content. Come to find out that I was just really content with what we did. I was super proud of everyone around us. Can't speak highly enough for everyone that was on our campaign team, internal and external. They did a lot for us. They did a lot of work. We are forever grateful. Unfortunately, whenever you campaign, you have a monetary limit of how much you can spend, because if that wasn't the case, we'd all be going out to dinner, and it's on us. So
start looking like real American politics. It started looking like the LA Dodgers.
That's right. That's right. Don't get me started.
Come on. Hey, opening day today, by the way. I don't know if you heard the news. Aaron Judge is going to fumble on a whole new stage. Yeah, I watched the championship, buddy. You're on my list, all right? You're on my list. That was messed up. 3 strikeouts, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. But no, I think it's really interesting, and I do. Caden, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because did you have to campaign to be DSIG president?
Not to the extent of what we did. Pretty much how that DSIG president looked was, a good buddy of mine told me, if you really wanted to be president of DSIG, you have to find a spot, an area in the house that maybe wasn't thriving, and make it thrive. So I did philanthropy. That was what I did my first semester, initiated. And so I put on a nice haunted house with Alpha Z Delta. So shout out to that sorority. But that's kind of how that looked. So I wasn't going around like passing out any papers or anything like that. I did sit down and meet with people and just ask them kind of what they wanted to see in the house. But this was a lot more of like a professional process, I would say, than my informal, hey, I want to be your president.
Though it was informal, was there anything about that process that taught you how you can, or something you can apply to now a more official place?
Great question. I think a lot of it just comes down to just meeting and talking with people. I think just having a really open mind is important. There's going to be things that come across your board that you might not agree with, but there's going to be a lot of campus that does. And I think that also just speaks to how great this university is, because you can have these differing opinions, and that's what's celebrated. And throughout our time campaigning, and whenever I was campaigning for DSIG president, there was opinions that I didn't quite agree with, but I knew that's what the house wanted, and that's what campus wanted. And I'm really happy to say that everything that has came across our board, I am wholeheartedly for, which I think is really, really impactful and really fun at the end of the day. Just meeting with people and just seeing passion across the board is always a nice thing. So
just a great time. That's awesome.
Right.
Final question for both of you. When you look at your experiences at SGA, you now sit at the top, or your experience maybe with DSIG, what is maybe the biggest takeaway that from your time in those places that you're now going to apply when you look at the upcoming year? Christian, I'll start with you.
When I think about what that's going to look like, I think it's about celebrating people, and it's about celebrating not just the big wins, but the little wins and what makes us all so unique here at Kansas State and what we're going to be able to make happen. Caden talked about it a little bit, and through our campaign time was we celebrated people a lot, and that's what made the campaign life so much fun. It was stressful at times, but we got to take a moment to sit back and celebrate those little wins and be able to celebrate the people who helped bring us up and bring up our campaign and put us, in the best position that we could possibly be. And I think that that's what's so cool about what we're ready to be able to do too, is that we're going to go forward. We're going to do everything that we can, because at the end of the day, if we can't, close our eyes at night and be happy with the job that we did, then we're not doing our job correctly. So how can we continue to make sure that every single day our jobs are, we're going to show up, we're going to be here for you, and we want you to be here for us as much as you can too, because we know that we can't do this alone. And
Boom.
There's one great thing, just like Ted Lasso said, believe. You believe in me and I'll believe in you.
Shout out Jason
I love it.
Sudeikis.
Yeah.
Caden, what about you?
I think one really powerful trait is just approachability. Being approachable is being everything. Whether it be as a president of your fraternity or student body president or vice president, just being approachable is really important, because I want to be your friend. I kind of hope the same, just from everyone around me. And just on that front, like we've been talking about today, this whole campaign would not be successful without the voices of students, and we want to take that exact same approach into this role and be able to serve students. And again, at the end of the day, we want you to want to walk into our office, want to sit down and chat with us, because that's what we want. We want you to be able to know that our door's always open. You can always email me. I would love to sit down face to face overall, but hey, if email is the way you function, then I can do that as well.
It happens. Hey, in the words of Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, and all those other people, we're all in this together on K-State's campus. It's been a great time, and thank you both. It's been wonderful hearing the plans and stuff. It's been a great time. And thank you both for being open and transparent about what the next year looks like. It's been a joy having you guys on. Before we go, thoughts on how the Royals are going to do as they start up on Friday?
Yeah.
How we feel?
Yeah, I kind of care way too much about that team, I've come to find out. 162 games. Who known that one of those can really ruin my day? No, I'm feeling good. I was actually, we were talking about before the show started, I was in Houston for the World Baseball Classic for the first couple, the USA, Canada, and Italy, Puerto Rico games. So I'm feeling good. We look good. We looked real good. So if our bullpen can hold, I'm feeling good. I don't want to get my hopes too high up, but
come on, Bubich, you got to get us going, all right?
I'm not going to lie, I'm not a huge baseball guy.
That's okay.
But I'll be there for a hot dog and a drink, so.
That's the best time.
Exactly.
Don't get that new $9.99 box they're releasing, though. I just found out they're half hot dogs, and you get one beer that you split up into 9 innings, and it starts at like $55. It's a scam, and it's a desecration to the $9.99 challenge.
That's not the real thing.
That's messed up, man. I mean, it's Pee-wee football. It's daycare. What are we doing here? But what we're doing here is we're signing off. We'll be back next week, same time, Wednesday at noon, with another wacky cast of characters from SGA. We're going to be talking about some plans for the upcoming years. We're kind of in the off season a little bit as things ramp up for August. But it doesn't mean that there's not stuff still going on right now, including that cabinet search. Finally, if you want to get involved with SGA with this presidential term, it's a great time. You can get involved on Instagram. One last plug.
Heck yeah, Chief of Staff applications are closing this Friday at midnight, and then Cabinet are April 9th at midnight. So make sure you get out, and we're excited for what's next.
Yeah.
It's going to be an awesome time. Finally, Christian Pena, Caden Bastian, thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been another episode of the SGA Weekly Update, but make sure to stick around. Doesn't mean you have to stop listening, as later tonight, the propaganda is back on. I'm joined by K-State pitcher Adam Arthur, as well as host of the Dub, Nate Lowen. We're talking about yesterday's game, talking about Casey Alexander, and we're talking about NBA expansion. All of that and more is coming up tonight. But for now, from Christian Pena, from Caden Bastian, and from Jimmy Kaufman, we say thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. You're listening to Wildcat 91.9. You belong.